Okay, so fourth try this video here, so I'm just gonna get a little bit further away from the desk here. There we go. So uh, the question that I had is for this hand here that I built. It's custom hand, doesn't use anything of the Oculus except for the rotation. But again, uh, it's just linked to a parent object, and the parent object comes with the first person controller. So there's one hand object that is pretty much named left hand and right hand. So I just parented my hand and just pretty much rotated the hand to fit pretty much the controller there. So I was able to manipulate the local no, actually, yeah, the local earlier angles for the angles of the joints or the fingers. uh, of course, right now it doesn't grab anything. I can't grab anything with it because the script doesn't really realizes that there's an object there, and it's just going to go through the object. But later on I really want to implement, for example, having an object underneath the hand right there, on the palm of the hand, and the fingers would just squeeze until they reach a limit there, the limit as in the object, and some of the fingers are still gonna go further than other fingers because there's nothing in front of them, and that's gonna just put a firm grip. Well, not really a firm grip. It's just gonna uh, how could I say that? It's gonna simulate a grip on the object, and then maybe I could just parent the grippable or grabbable object to the hand itself, and just keep that pause until I decide, for example, to throw the object. Of course, right now the speed isn't really fast, so the release speed and the grip speed aren't really fast, but it's still in the beginning of making this script. So the question here is actually with the table. I was able to give a limit to the hand so that it doesn't really go further than the position itself. Of course, if I rotate the hand, it's going to go through, and that's the problem. That's the problem that I want to fix. So the limit right now on this hand is at the bottom of the wrist itself. There's a raycast, or that's the transform position, or the pivot point of the hand, of the wrist. Okay, so that's why it pretty much follows the rotation of the joystick itself. But the thing is that it's not gonna go further. It stops, and it follows the normal on the surface. Well, that's not the problem. That's okay. That's what I wanted. So every position, and I'm not even done yet with the. Well, I'm not even started yet with the other pivot point of the other joints of the hand, and I want to plug in every joints so that they respect the rotation, and if somehow, or they respect the position actually, so that they don't go further down. And that's the question I have is, is it that the position itself that I have to affect, or is it somehow uh, the rotation? Because I was able to manipulate the Euler angles to give, for example, 10 degrees there of rotation, 10 degrees there only, 10 degrees down so it doesn't go through the table, 10 degrees up, well, that's more than 10, but 10 degrees up, and like this, 10 degrees and 10 degrees. I was able to do that. The problem is I've got to plug in the same angles of the Euler angles on all axes, because a different normal. Okay, this is a surface here, another different surface here, and the angles would be the same. So 10 degrees there, 10 degrees there is not the same as 10 degrees there and 10 degrees there. And that's the problem. I thought I could use the local Euler angles to manipulate the rotation so that 10 degrees there, here, like that, would actually be rotating the hand like that and doing 10 degrees here and 10 degrees here. But it's not that. 10 degrees here, like this, to the right, and minus 10 degrees here is exactly the same here. 10 degrees and 10 degrees, because it's the transform dot Euler angles. But I thought I could use the local Euler angles, but it doesn't work. I don't know why. I'm not really sure, because you know, I thought maybe it's because it's the hand itself is attached to a parent game object, and when the parent game object rotates, the children object also rotates, and because of that reason, I'm unable to manipulate the local Euler angles because they're always at 0, unless I say to stop rotating. But and that's the I don't know how to. I'm not really sure. I didn't really think about it. I'm thinking about it now. Uh, if I stop the object from following the rotation of the parent itself, and then rotate the children object independently, once I reach the table. I didn't think about that. Maybe that's the solution. I'm not sure, but you know, the object right now, or the hand, you know, pretty much has a limit, and the limit, like I say, is at the bottom of the wrist, as you can see here. You know, I'm oops, and what was that glitch? Or, you know, it's not working necessarily well, because right now this depends of the speed, it depends of the tracking, and I'm pretty much, you know, almost lower than my desk here, and the tracking and my light also is closed, so I don't know if it affects the tracking efficiency of the little thingies, the trackers that came with the Oculus Rift. But otherwise, the 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 direction, or the length of the raycast is not the length of the distance traveled between, you know, this point, for example, and that point. And that's a problem, because the length is fixed, so it's always going to be, like, for example, 1. But if I go at really high speed and travel more than 1 in 2 points, you know, it's not going to capture that raycast hitting the surface. So if I go really fast, it's going to go through. So I got to fix that, of course. But otherwise, you know, it's look, the tracking isn't working. Maybe I just need to pull up the table a little bit more. But otherwise, you know, the it's working pretty well. You know, I can't go through the table everywhere, you know, and I'm not stopping my hand. As you can see, look, you see the limit there of the guardian. Okay, that's where my hand is at right now. It's really down. Okay, that's where my hand is. See the guardian? Okay, I think it's recorded. Not sure. I hope it is. But yeah, that's where my hand is. It's really down low, and you can see that you know, the hand itself has a limit on every normal of the altar itself. Okay, so there you go, because of the wrist. But the problem, like I say, is that it rotates on every side, and I want limits. I don't want my hand to penetrate, but I want my hand to physically interact with other object. Not necessarily the stable, because anyways, it's a rigid, static, rigid body, so it's not going to be able to interact with it. I could do it anyways, but that's not the point. I mean, um, it's really, for the moment, just try and fix that rotation problem if I'm able to. So that's pretty much it, and there's nothing else here. There's that hand that doesn't work yet, and there's nothing else. It's just I'm doing the tests one thing at a time, and once I'm done with that, I'm gonna plug in other things. So that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and so this is the hand right now, and you know, I want to be able to, for example, be on the side of the table here, and when I grab, I want, you know, the thumb to not go further than the desk itself, and same thing for the hands. And I want the tip of the fingers to almost touch the table, but not touch it. And every finger, like for example the index finger right here, He's not even close because it's following the same rotation as the other fingers. So I want the rotations to not be independent, but to be independent on the limits. And the limits themselves would be, the object in front of them. And that's the thing for the fingers. So that's pretty much it. There's still a lot of things to implement, but I need help as to how to fix the rotation issue, as I was talking, with the 10 degrees there, 10 degrees there. Well, more like almost 180 degrees like that, 180. Here it would be like more like, well, I could pretty much rotate the whole hand almost. Well, except for the part where the thumb is, because we couldn't really rotate on that side. Well, it's possible, of course we can do it, but in the game it just appears as it goes through the object, and I don't want that. I don't want the hand to go through. So 10 degrees, pretty much 10 degrees there. I've got some huge problem with the tracking, maybe because I changed my trackers places. I don't know. It's annoying. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So this video is pretty much long enough, and hopefully I didn't mess it up this time, and we're able to see the hand. We couldn't see it. We were seeing like fingers only in my other videos, so it was pretty annoying. Anyway, thanks for watching again, and see you later. Okay, so guess what? If somehow, or if there is a position actually able again to manipulate the local ruler, no, actually, yeah, local ruler angles for the angles of the joints or the fingers. Of course, right now it doesn't, grab anything. I can't grab anything with it because it doesn't really realizes that there's an object there, and it's just going to go through the object. So later on, I really. This is very annoying. I'll have to release 2 videos for the same.